Okay, here we go, guys. I am going to show a video on how to do channel forwarding. Let's just dive right in. Real briefly, this is my MATEK SYS 722 SE. It's pretty typical setup, video transmitter, my camera. I didn't hook up smart audio yet here. Which can go there. The motors are all hooked up like you'd think they'd be hooked up. Here, signal, negative, positive, right, all the way around. My receiver is hooked up on TX6, and I don't have a buzzer yet, but buzzer will be there, LED lights. I've got a GPS, U-Box GPS. So here's the crux of it. I've got my servo hooked up on my quad to motor 6. All right, so there's a couple problems I've got here. So let's just dive in and I'll show you my flight control board, the actual board here. Get it plugged in just to get things going. All right, and there she goes. All right, so this is my very old, but gonna be a camera quad just to see what kind of range I can get with the 1.3 and the R9M module, 900 megahertz. Anyway, all right, so let's go to Betaflight. Let me show you what I got going on here. When I go into, and hold on, before I do this 1 second, let me state this. The reason I'm doing this video is because there's literally no good video out there on how to do this in English. Anyway, Painless 360 probably has the best, along with a Russian guy, Vitaly Tershcherkuk, but it's still lacking in its thoroughness. Painless 360 did it through the cam stabilization, but this is actually going to be full channel forwarding, and that's what I want to show. Okay. Also, the big problem is that a lot of people have done this with PPM, which is super easy. I'm going to show this through SBus. Okay, so, all right, again, so the board, I showed you this. That's my exact setup here. It's not the cleanest build ever, but I got a lot going on with GPS and whatnot. You can see right here, I need a little better pointer right here. Yep. Well, you can't read it, but it does say S6 there, which you can't see. It's under there. It's right there. Okay, right there. Okay, I apologize for it being so covered up. But anyway, it is hooked up to Servo 6. So let's get into Betaflight, and I'll show you what I've got going on here. So we go into Betaflight, go to the CLI, and I type resource. Okay, resource. First problem I notice is I don't have any, well, Servo 2's there, but I don't see an option for Servo 1. So I actually had to go through the full dump. Okay, let that go for a second. And anyway, what I've done here is, guys, I went ahead and printed this out just to make it easier on everybody. So if you look here, my servo signal is actually on this motor 6, which is mapped to B03, okay? It's connected to B03, and it needs to be assigned to servo 1, okay? Right now, all my servos are set, and you can have up to 8 set to none, okay? And that's actually hidden, which I said. So I didn't need to do that complete dump, okay? All right, well, I need to show you guys one thing here that really was a deal breaker. And if we go to the receiver, there's Betaflight just being Betaflight. All right, receiver. Okay. Now I want to show you how this is numbered. These are numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, okay? So we have a command that we're going to put in the CLI here later on to set this channel forwarding, okay? Let me back up a second. When we go into configuration, we're going to need to get this channel forwarding turned on, okay? All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and start getting in this. I'm assuming that most people here are using Tyrannus, and if not, it's not too hard to follow along otherwise, but let me get my radio on. Okay, and here we go. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the CLI command. Now we know what we have to do. We have to get Servo 1 over to that thing that said B03 because that's where mine is mapped. Obviously, you're gonna need to put yours wherever yours is mapped. Okay, so we're gonna type in, first thing we need to do is we need to release that B03 or release motor 6, however you wanna look at it. It's a little strange, but it seems backwards to me. But we're typing in resource, space, motor 6, none, okay? Then we're just hitting enter. Resource motor 6, none. All right, so we freed up that resource, okay? We've basically freed up, we've untangled B03 and the motor 6. Okay, now we can do this where we set resource. I'm just gonna hit up key here and that will type everything back out. Servo 1, space 1. Now I'm gonna type B03. Hit enter. All right, last important step everybody knows. If you don't type save, you're screwed. Okay, after saving, Betaflight's gonna restart. Okay, connecting, connecting, connecting. Okay, now we need to go to our servos tab, okay? One thing that's important to note, look, it starts out with servo 0, okay? Servo 0 in this GUI is servo 1, okay? Servo 0 is servo 1 and on down the line, okay? That's why there's only 7 options because there's 8 servos. 0 counts as the first one, okay? That's a little confusing. All right, so we're going to pick a channel that our transmitter is putting a signal on, okay? So if I look at the receiver, oh, hold on, I gotta plug this in because it's powered from battery, not USB. All right, I get a signal from my transmitter. Okay, now let's choose, that's aux 5. Oh, that'll come in important here in a second. There we go. Let's use aux 4, okay? We've got aux 4, and it's tied to 8, but for now, that's fine. No, I'm not gonna untangle it. So, servo, aux 4. All right. Important save button down here. Okay, that one doesn't restart it, okay? All right, well, should be working, right? Yep, there we go. Okay, now there was one more step which you need to do, which probably just saved because I had already done this, but you need to set space channel underscore forwarding. It's hard to do with one hand. Apologize, guys. Underscore start space equals space. Now this is going to go back. I'm going to explain this again. I'm going to put 8 here, okay? And then hit enter and then hit save. And I'll show you why you're setting channel forwarding to 8. Okay. All right. Connect it back up. Come on, it's not Bluetooth. Who has a Bluetooth anyway for this? Come on. Mac. That's why there's 2 of everything. Okay, I've got all my sensors. All right. Remember what I was saying over here with the receiver? What you've got is channel forwarding will forward everything past 8 or up to 8. No, past the number you put in. So this is 1, or I'm sorry, this is 0, remember. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you want to forward all the channels to servos past 4, you need to put in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you want to just forward everything from aux 1 on, you need to put in 0, 1, 2, 3. Channel forwarding, set channel forwarding equals, I'm sorry, set channel forwarding start with underscores between everything, space equal 4. Okay, and that'll forward everything here to servos. Now, if you want some aux channels to do some things with before you forward those to servos, then you need to skip those numbers. So you want to start down here. And then these 3 would be your aux channels, okay? All right, guys, I think, so the only last thing is to set up the servos, set up this, I'll show you, this is pretty slick in the modes, okay? One last thing you can do that I've kind of figured out is a pretty cool trick. You can put this modes tab on a 3-way switch. So we're gonna put cam stab, and we're gonna put camera control on a 3-way switch. Camera control is gonna be on the right 2/3. Cam stab is gonna be on the left. The range, I apologize, the range is gonna be open on the left 2/3. Now what this is gonna do, this is gonna put the ability for us to have on a radio, on a transmitter, a 3-way switch. I'll show you here what this will do. Okay, so I've got a 3-way switch here. This way is camera stabilized in the center and camera controlled. So I can control the camera and it's stabilized. I don't know if you can see that, but it's moving. Hear it moving, see it moving, okay? And I have control over it, okay? Which I've got that in the back here, but I've got control over it. Now it needs to be adjusted like crazy, but I just figured this out. So now, if I go all the way forward, I still have my camera control,